Your music will never sound the same way after you see this. What's up, YouTube? This is... I'm just messing with you. Hey, this is David. Welcome to the channel, which is all about helping you develop your musical personality on the guitar so that you can tell a better musical story. Today, we're going to approach things a little bit differently. The musical story we're going to build together is a Dorian story. It's made of 7 different characters. Now, you know how I like stories, characters, and all that. I think it's so useful. More on that later. We have 7 notes, 7 pitches, 7 intervals, 7 characters. The root, the 1, that's A. In this case, it's A. Everything is attracted to that main character. And then we have a second, a minor third, a fourth, a fifth, a major sixth, and a minor seventh. So 7 different characters with different personalities that together make the Dorian scale. That Dorian scale was used for this backing track. So this backing track, just made of drums and bass, is an A Dorian backing track. The groove that you're hearing right now was played on the bass by following those 7 notes. It's just extracted from one of those positions, the first position of A Dorian. Now these 7 notes that are in A Dorian, and by the way, this could be done with anything, right? Any other set of 7 notes, any scale, any key. We're just working with A Dorian here. But these 7 notes are found really all over the fretboard. And that's because on the guitar, the advantage and the disadvantage too when you're learning the instrument is that you can play the same exact pitch on multiple strings, multiple frets. For example, that A can be played on the low E string 5th fret, but we also have that same exact pitch on the 5th string open. These 2 pitches are exactly the same. Not only that, but I can also play that A an octave higher. Right here, there are a lot of different A's, right? So that gives us a big fretboard filled with these 7 notes played over and over, and it's very difficult to memorize, especially if you're starting out. So we like to split our fretboard into different smaller areas, slices of the fretboard, positions. And typically we'll start with position number 1. It's called position number 1 because the first note we play is that first note of the scale. Now this is how we're going to approach this, and this really will change, I think, the way you compose and work on music. Instead of focusing on a single position, we're going to combine 2 positions together. We're going to start kind of narrow like that. The 2 positions we're going to use are going to be the caged system positions. Now, please don't log off. I know that there are a lot of players who hate caged. I don't think you should. If you play pentatonic, you're playing caged. The caged system is just a narrow position. Just think of it as a narrow position. All the notes are really accessible without reaching too high. Bear with me for a second. Take a look at this. We're going to start with the first position of A Dorian. This one right here, that starts with the root on the low E string 5th fret. So that'll be 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. That's the first position, and it's a narrow position, right? We don't need to stretch too far. This is actually the E position of the caged system. If you're not familiar with the caged system, I think you should, but don't worry about it. Just bear with me for just a second. We have that position. It's a narrow position. We're going to do something to it. We're going to put glue on it and tie to it the position just before. So it's going to be this one. 3, 5, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5. It's also a narrow position. So now we have 2 narrow positions placed one after the other. These positions are part of A Dorian, because if I play over this backing track, regardless of which position I'm in, I'm always playing one of the 7 notes of A Dorian. So far, nothing new really. This is just learning positions. Here is where things get a little interesting. Instead of visualizing these positions as 2 separate positions, we're really gonna visualize them as a full new kind of position. Yes, it's made of 2 positions, but we're gonna see it as its entire slice of the fretboard. And now, instead of just playing notes like I just did here in a solo way, I'm going to look at chords. Now, what is a chord? A chord is simply more than one note played at the same time. That'll be a chord. Here's another one. Here's another one. As long as you're playing more than one note, even this, that's a chord. Of course, the trick is to build chords from a system that will match what is being played over, in this case, the backing track, because the story that you're building is a story with multiple authors. The authors in this case are the drums, they're adding to the story, the bass, they're adding information, these notes, these characters, and then me. The chords that I'm going to play are really going to establish that foundation. So the idea here is to look at these two superimposed positions and pick any two or more notes and play them at the same time. Are they going to work? Yes, always. Let's take a look. And we really can't go wrong here. Let's pick, for example, this one right here on the 3rd string, 4th fret. This one right here, 2nd string, 5th fret, and maybe this one, 1st string, 3rd fret. These three notes together create a chord. What's the name of that chord? I don't care. I'm going to play it over my backing track and it should match what's going on. It'll give it an A Dorian flavor. It does. It works pretty well, I think. Let's try another one following this. Maybe we'll take these three notes, these three pitches, and move them to the next note they encounter within our scale. So this note will become this one, then this one will become this one, and this one will become this one. So we have that, I think, right? Yeah. And soon enough, you're starting to improvise with some really interesting chords. I'm going to be honest with you. Typically, when I plan a lesson, the lesson is really planned around something that I'm working on or I want to explore. And this one in particular, I thought that it's an interesting topic, but there's nothing new that I'm going to find in these just two positions. I was wrong. I spent 10 minutes on this, and I was able to come up with 5 ideas that, in my opinion, are kind of interesting using this, and that was only after 10 minutes. I'm going to let you hear just a few of them. I recorded them for fun. Here they are. And again, that was just after 10 minutes. I'm going to continue exploring this. This was only with 2 positions. After feeling bored with them, I'm just going to add another one and another one and another one and just see the whole fretboard differently. And that was just for an A Dorian story, A Dorian flavor. Imagine doing this with any other flavor you want. Lydian, Mixolydian, Ionian, harmonic minor. It's just a different way of visualizing the fretboard that, in my opinion, is very intriguing and very eye-opening in a way, because you don't have to memorize the chords, the shapes, the intervals. You can go back to it, but it really favors exploration, which is, I think, the most precious thing you can have in your advancement as a musician: curiosity and exploration. I am very close to announcing something I've been working on for years. It's something that will really change everything. If you've been trying to learn guitar the traditional way or getting better and it hasn't really clicked, there's a reason for that. I'm going to spill the beans to anybody who signs up here. It's free. Just enter your email address. You'll be amongst the first ones to know about the Primal Guitar Experience. This will change everything. Enter your email right here. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you very soon.